Hey, shalom, shalom. Okay, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Okay, double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect of the children of Israel, people of Negro, Latino, Native American, and Seminole Indian descent. Okay, Israelite foreigners as well, living around the four corners of the earth, but are Israelite through their father's side that live amongst the heathen nations. All right, again, peace and shalom. All right, here we go. Let's get into this lesson of prophecies that are coming to pass. And one of those major prophecies is race wars. You know, there's going to be, a major disruption in society where people are going to pretty much be fed up, with way things are. And a lot of them are getting fed up because they're under a certain teaching and belief. For example, these white militias, these black militias, Black Panthers. There's actually another one I just actually found out about yesterday, and I can't remember the name of it. And the guy they were interviewing for it was the president. Something I should have saved. Which just another group that Israelites that are going off, and that's coming under that false name, that false label, which is we're not black people. We are Hebrew Israelites. From the various tribes, from the 12 tribes. We're not black people. You go back in the annals of history, there is no nation of black people. Though we're referred to as that in the scriptures, but there's no nation of black people. Okay, so they're under that, what's been thrown at them, the propaganda, the lies, the deceit that this devil done created, the conditions that this devil created, they're buying into, and they're not looking into it and understanding why these things are happening. For example, why Jakes are out there acting a goddamn fool, which, they're to blame for it. And it's not to dismiss any of their wickedness. And there's these niggas, they're worse than the white man. Why? Because they should know better. They should know better. And what are they buying into it? Niggas are the drug dealers and rapists and murderers, and we're dirty and on. So, and they're buying into it, and vice versa. But when coming from these black people's perspective, which is justified, that this white man has been a terror on this planet, man, and what did that Khalid, what's his name, Khalid Muhammad, who Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai put to death, and I think he put him to death in the late 90s, if I'm correct. I remember I used to listen to him a lot. He's a fiery speaker, man. But the thing was, now that I know now that him and Farrakhan was actually jacking from the prophets, jacking certain information from the prophets, and Farrakhan is he's big on that, picking and choosing what he chooses to accept and teach in the Bible, and not the full truth. So the Lord's not dealing with him. So Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai put Khalid Muhammad to death. Well, anyway, Khalid Muhammad he made the statement that the white man is it's impossible to live amongst him and come to an agreement live amongst this man in agreement, and I can't remember because he said the reporter, the Edomite reporter, asked him a question. He said, I'm not going to play abracadabra, hocus pocus, Shazam. He said something of that extent. He said the white man is impossible to live amongst, or something like that, man. I can't remember, but the point he made was the truth. That is, you can't live amongst this Edomite in harmony, in peace. because he's completely disagreeable to live with, totally, completely. And that's how it's supposed to be. And we're under that understanding. This is exactly how it's supposed to be. So what's going to happen is Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to raise these 2/3 up, because they're getting fed up with this man. And the example I have here, look at this guy up here in Ohio. This is up in Cincinnati, though. The same cop who killed his son, he went and killed that cop. And look at how he did it, though. Jake is getting fed up, man. But that's the spirit that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is rousing up in these 2/3. I have to label them as 2/3 because they're the ones that's actually the prophets. The elect ain't gonna be out there, participating. Well, at least I hope they're not, because that's not of our spirit to be side by side with those that we don't disagree with. But when it comes to fighting, hey, that's for y'all. That's y'all's lot to get out there and brawl and fight. And when the time comes, it's going to be on a full scale. And Jake is going to tear some shit up. But at the same time, these devils love their guns, man. Jake got arms too, but the whole point of the whole thing is Yahweh Hashem Yahushua stirring that battle up is for a great slaughter. He wants them to slaughter each other. And it's going to come exactly down to that. And I remember, and this was like in 1998, 1999, 2000, I said 2000, no, 1988, 89, 90, somewhere in that period. I can't remember why. I don't remember, and I literally don't remember why it started to happen. Well, whatever it was, these, especially the brothers that I grew up with in the hood, the neighborhood, the friends I knew, so-called associates and whatever. For some reason, it all happened, and it wasn't just our neighborhood. It was in the city period that, because they would, when we would go to these bars and these clubs when they were letting out, even during the time, during the hours of 11 and 12 or whatever, but a lot of it popped off when the bars and clubs and whatever let out and everybody come out. Well, anyway, groups of so-called black men would gather and meet outside these places, and when white boys come out, they would swarm on the white boys, man. And I still remember this because I was amongst those guys, but I never swung on nobody white. I never participated in it, but I was with them, and I was witnessing all this, and it went on for like 2-3 weeks, man. Like it literally went on for 2-3 weeks, and to this day, it's still puzzling me why did it happen. Was something on the news? Did something happen? I can't remember, but it was happening. Well, anyway, white boys was coming out, man, and they was swarming white dudes, man. They was beating the living shit out of them, with no exaggeration. And I don't remember no cops coming, intervening, stopping any of it, and it went on for like 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, literally beating their asses. It was always brothers, man, from various hoods. Because I've noticed when it was happening, it was a lot of, there were black guys that I didn't even recognize, never even seen before. So something happened, which clearly either I just don't remember, or it just escaped me at that point, or whatever got in the minds of Jake to rise up and do what they were doing. And that has always puzzled me. Even to this day, I would just lay around thinking about it. Why in the hell was that happening? And I mean, literally beating. I remember one white dude running past me in terror with fright in his eyes, man. Like, I'm not trying to die. He was running past me. They were chasing his ass. Man, it was amazing. But here we are, fast forward into 2025, man, that same spirit is rising up. And that's part of one of those spirits that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is bringing that spirit of division, And there was one precept as far as speaking of division, and I never wrote it down. For some reason, I just can't remember it. I know Luke, though, which, I bring out a lot. Yahushua said he was bringing the spirit of division. And you know what? Let me do this. And I actually have it here. 2 Timothy 3 here. But no, I think it was actually, let me do this real quick. Let me do this. Okay, Google, will there be race wars in the last days? And when I asked this question, this is what come up, and I'm gonna pause that. There's one precept that caught me. It was Timothy, not Timothy. It was not Matthews. Timothy, Matthews. Escape me. It's not. There's Matthews 24. There's Timothy 1 through 3. Timothy. 2 Timothy. It didn't come up, but you know what? Let's continue on anyway. You know, and right now things still seem to be a little peaceful. But believe me, that spirit is getting roused up in these white boys and in Jakes, man. And in Jakes. And this is going to be their reward for not following instructions. You know, we have our place. We have our role that we're to play in these last times, and that's not part of our role, man, to be out there, you know, at war. You know, literally at war, man. You know, we might get into that situation where we're going to have to defend ourselves, and Lord willing, the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua will remain with you, brothers, man, and protect you, you know, and give you the strength and whatever is necessary you need to get out of it, you know, because in these times, man, you know, don't be surprised if you receive power. Because, you know, that's you know, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is, you know, at a level of anger that we can't comprehend, man. And that's that anger he's going to pull on us. And that time when wickedness, when these Jakes and when these leprous devils, Edomites, going to be out there in the spirit of unrighteousness, in the spirit of, in that ungodly, wicked, evil spirit, they're going to get judged, man. They're going to get judged, you know. So Lord willing, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua will be with you, brothers, with, you know, which the elect's going to get through this anyway, you know. And again, another thing is Yahweh Bashem Yahushua want the elect men to go out shining, man. So don't dismiss you, don't thinking that you know, don't dismiss that idea of you receiving power to slaughter whatever, man. You know, because that's not something we, you know, we're not thinking on a carnal mind. We're thinking on a spiritual level. On a spiritual level, it's just the reward is going to come. That reward is going to turn. We're going to turn physical as well. That's part of the reward we're going to receive, where we're going to be able to get physical with these devils and with, you know, again, as the scripture says, for ye are my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee, and it goes on, you know. So it's going to come to that point where we're going to, the elect man is going to receive spiritual powers. That's beautiful, man, to even go into that. But anyway, 2 Timothy 3:1, this know also that in the last days, perilous times shall come. And perilous times, let's hit that real quick. So, perilous. Lepos.
Strong's G 5467. Chalipas.
Hard to do, to take, to reproach, to approach, hard to bear, troublesome, danger, harsh, fierce, and savage. And that's literally that's their spirit. And this has always been 2/3 spirit and Esau's spirit, a savage a spirit they have. And all it takes is certain situations for it to come out. You know, go back and look at Katrina and look at how these devils during Katrina, where the tribes wanted help and they needed help. And in certain parts of the city, they were trying to get out and to safety, and there were Edomites blocking them off, man. That's the same spirit that Esau had when he was helping the, let me think, I'm not sure if it's the Babylonians destroy the temple, the East Edomites was helping them, they was helping right along, destroy the temple, man. You see? And here we go. They're just waiting for the opportunity, because society is set up so they can portray themselves as being civilized and being hard workers, and in all reality, these people are nothing but a bunch of cutthroats and a bunch of lazy bastards, and and savages. So they're really just looking for the right opportunity. And what's the right opportunity is when all hell breaks loose, when there's a period of anarchy. That's the word, anarchy. Let me do this. Okay, Google. What is anarchy?
Anarchy, at its core, signifies the...
Oh man, I actually hit it off. Okay, Google. What is anarchy?
Anarchy.
Okay, and I'm gonna read this here. And this is already waiting for us, this type of period, man, where there's going to be, a disruption in a civilized society, if you can call it that. Anarchy it says, at its most basic, refers to a state of having no ruler or government. The term itself comes from the ancient Greek word anarchos, meaning without a ruler. Again, and this is exactly what's coming. So people are getting fed up with their neighbor. They're getting fed up with these religious affiliates, Islam, the Catholic Church, and the black Hebrew Israelites, which that's how they label it. We don't call it that, but they call it the black Hebrew Israelites, and so on, and they're getting fed up with those groups, man. And not just that, they're getting fed up with the behavior of this ignorant ass nigga woman. They're literally fed up with her, that this bitch's attitude and her behavior, man. And these niggas too, standing on the corner with their pants down, selling dope, out there jacking, out there robbing, out there killing, out there looting, and so on and so on. And it does, man. It's annoying. It's vexing seeing that shit, that behavior. It's vexing, man. And vice versa. Jake is getting tired of these cops doing what they do and having the free will to instill their will on us, man, and just do as they please and have no punishment, have no, and without, there may be an example here and there where, like when that criminal Floyd was, choked out by the cop's knee, and he got locked up, but that's just an individual, man. And these few individual cops that got locked up, that's all they are. Just a couple of examples. The whole system is corrupt, man. All these cops are corrupt, man. All of them. Why? Because they sit back and there's a thing they call a code of silence. And you're gonna call yourself a good cop, but you practice that code of silence. Jake getting fed up with this behavior and this mistreatment, man. But I have to admit, it's justified. These niggas need to be put down. And he's passing legislation and laws and executive orders to make it happen, Captain. And I have it right here somewhere, and I don't know if I want to even go look for it. Well, anyway, he's passing laws where he's going to use the military and local law enforcement to do exactly that. And as a matter of fact, just the other day, he made the statement about the black community is crying out. It's crying out. It ain't the black community crying out about a goddamn thing. The black community ain't crying about. The black community is supportive of criminal activity, drug use, drug trafficking gangs, gang warfare. They're highly supported because it's their family members, man. It's their family members. They're not rising up against it. They're not coming up against Ray Ray and Pookie, and Little T and Booger. They're not rising up against their nephews and their sons and putting them back into their place, man. And especially if that nigga is making thousands and thousands and possibly millions of dollars from drug use, they're going to go right along to get along with that little motherfucking nigga, man. Excuse my language, but they're going to go right along with that piece of trash and encourage it on. As long as they get a little crumb here and there, a few dollars here and there to buy them some overpriced pair of shoes or a purse or get them an ounce of weed or, as long as their lust has been fed. These niggas is with it. But anyway, not trying to justify their behavior, but Jake needs destroyed, man. These 2/3 niggas needs to be destroyed, man. So it's just gonna take that perfect opportunity for these savages, to come out with what their savage desires, their fierce savage desires, troublesome. One of the definitions there, you see, they're hard to bear. Troublesome. Just this morning, 4:00 this morning, there was another murder, north side of Columbus. A couple of days ago, there was a triple homicide. A triple. They saying it was a double murder suicide though. Lord willing. But regardless, that's the angels working. That's that death angel. And that death angel is is picking up. He's starting to work, man. And those death spirits, those evil spirits, those spirits of vengeance is, it's starting to multiply more and more. Back here. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection. And let me see, you know what? And I often refer to that as these moles, and a man without, looking to lay with another man, woman laying with another woman, but without natural affection, that love we should have for one another. Without natural affection, unsociable, inhuman, unloving, and there we go. There it is. Let me hit that. It won't let me click on it for some reason. Let me do this. Come on. There you go. Not enjoying or making an effort to behave sociably in the company of others. And there you go. There you go. They're just looking for the right opportunity. They want the right opportunity. That's all, and they're going to get just that. Exactly what they've been waiting for. They're going to get exactly what they want. See, we want peace on this planet, man. We want the world to be ran uprightly, and we want the positive vibration. We want order. We want our big brother back. Yahweh Shai, man. We want him to reign, to rule. And with that, everything falls in line, and especially with the select men, with our inheritance, man. We're going to be joint heirs. So they're just waiting for their opportunity. They're just waiting for it. So let me get back to dude. Man accused of killing Hamilton. Let me click on one of these, and I'm hoping this don't crash. I want to click on one that doesn't have a video on it, and they seem to probably all do. The Guardian. Click on this. Because I got a preset for this here. Okay, it's still going here. Father of teen fatally shot by Cincinnati police, allegedly kills officer with his car. And he tore that motherfucker up. Man who become distraught after viewing footage of the fatal shooting of his son crashed into officer the next day, authorities say. He went and looked for that nigga, man. The distraught father of an 18-year-old, and I feel him, but at the same time, man, something happened to my sons or daughters, man, I have to accept it. It's their role. It's, Yahweh Shem Yahweh sanction them to be put to death. By whatever means. I'm not going out there looking for vengeance. Your vengeance is Yahweh Shai's, man. Vengeance is his. As the scripture says, be angry but sin not, doesn't it? Be angry but sin not. So if they were to die, drop dead, my wife as well, any of them were to drop dead, I'm going to accept it, man, because I understand why. They were just judged, and their time of judgment came. The time of judgment came. I was about to get a scripture, but yeah. But it escaped me which one I was going to get. I was rambling. The distraught father of an 18-year-old father. The 18-year-old shot and killed by police in Cincinnati allegedly killed a police officer with his car less than 24 hours after the death of his son. The double killing was that has shocked the Ohio city amid ongoing concerns about, and the Cincinnati always had major racial division, man. They say that place is racially divided, man. Concerns about American law enforcement involvement in lethal encounters with citizens. The incident began last Thursday with the shooting death of Ryan Hinton, 18, who police said had appeared to point a gun at an officer as he fled from the stolen vehicle with 3 other people. Body camera footage released by police shows an officer shouting, "He's got a gun, a gun. He's got a gun, on your right, on your right." The blurry and unclear footage then shows Hinton emerging from between 2 dumpsters, and another officer fired multiple shots, killing Hinton. A gun was later recovered. It had not been fired. Okay, well, that's another thing. You shouldn't be carrying no damn guns anyway. So what? It's okay. You don't need no license, and you don't need no goddamn. This ain't no time to be carrying no gun anyway, man. And Jake carried these guns with that. The scripture says this. Thinking in that manner, man. Thinking in that carnally manner. The NLT, the NIV. Let me hit the NLT. Nope. Let me do this here. Carnally. I'll just put carnal. Huh? There we go. Slow my roll. Romans 8:6, for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Put them guns down, man. You don't need them. You don't need them. For to be carnally minded. Flesh. It's all substance. Come on. The body of man used of natural or physical origin, generation or relationship, born of natural generation, the sensuous nature of man, and that's really being carnally nature of man. That carnally minded is really of the ungodly and of the wicked, That carnal spirit, man, that's an actual demon, man. That carnal spirit, man, thinking that, just like everyone else. These white boys. White boy told me he ride around with a assault rifle, man. White dude, friendly white dude. Yeah, I don't go nowhere without my AK. No, my AR. I don't go nowhere without it. An AR, man. Why riding around with an AR in a city? These people have no faith, man. They have no faith, man. You know, I can easily, I don't have no felonies. I can easily do the same, but I don't want to carry one. I don't want to carry one. You know, I'm not looking, those people that's carrying those weapons literally looking for trouble. Okay? Most of them are literally looking for trouble anyway. The flesh denotes mere human nature, the earthly nature of man apart from divine influence. There you go, the earthly nature of man apart from divine influence. And the elect men are being divinely influenced. We're being divinely influenced. And they can't comprehend you say that to them. They don't understand that. You say it to them, they hear you, but they don't understand that. They're not experiencing it to be divinely influenced in any way. You know, but you can look at it on this sense, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai done program them niggas to be exactly who they are. To play their role as niggas. That's divinely influenced. You know? But in a positive sense, man, these, you know, they don't comprehend that. And therefore prone to sin and opposed to the Most High. So being carnally minded, you're opposed to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You know? So there you go. And that's exactly it. So let's get back to this here. So he went out and executed judgment on his own, man, without even thinking about Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. As the scripture says. Okay, Romans 12. What was that at? Hold on. That's Romans 8. Isaiah 63 and 4, but let's hit this first. So, if it be possible, as much life in you, live peaceably with all men, if at all possible. You know? And this world, man, has a crazy way of just confronting you, but even then, you still got to learn how to, you know, just walk away, man. Just be the bigger person, man. Just walk away and just ignore it. Dismiss it. You know, I recommend you do this. Be kind anyway. And sometimes that messes up a person's head, man. You know, and not in that creepy Christian manner. Just smiling for no goddamn reason, you know, just smiling. We'll be out there on the highways and the byways, and Christians walk up to you, you know, the bug out Christians walk up to you smiling like, why are you, you know, just smiling? It's kind of weird, man. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves. Avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So vengeance is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai's, man. Therefore, in thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in so doing, thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. That's scripture I should have used yesterday. You know, be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. But the whole point, vengeance is his. You know, vengeance is the Lord's, man. Let me see what this 63 and 4 is. The Most High's vengeance on the nations. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength, I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat, have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger. And the Lord's coming to do exactly that. Yahweh Shai is coming to do exactly that. So it's his vengeance, man, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is mine, it is in my heart, and the year of my redeem is coming. See, that's the understanding we're under. And that's the role we're going to play, and sit back and let Yahweh Shai do his thing, man. Until he rise up his battle axe and weapons of war. But in the meantime, before he comes, man, this place is going to be up in a heap of mess, man. You know, anarchy. The word the word I was reading about, anarchy, man. Do I still have it? No, I lost it. Let me pull it up here. Anarchy, a state of disorder due to absence of non-recognition of authority or other controlling systems, the organization of society in the basis of voluntary cooperation without political institutions or hierarchical government anarchism. So the organization of society on the basis of voluntary cooperation. So there's going to be groups coming together, you know, and rising up against another group. And again, this is coming. This is coming. And then I have Second Ezra, I think that's 15 on my mind too, as far as sedition amongst men. But I want to get to my point. Here. So reading some of this, the double killing was shock to harm, whatever. The incident began last Thursday with the shooting death of Ryan Hinton, 18, who police said it, and I read all that too. So let's do that. So that time's coming when Jake's seeing these reports, man, and Jake is all over the internet watching how people are commenting. We must do things. We must unite. We must come together. That bullshit song. All these niggas that are going to come together, but none of them are in agreement with each other, because there's much more that it goes much further beyond the white man is our enemy. But other than that, they don't agree on a lot of things, man. You know, and especially our power, our God, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. None of them have him. So imagine all this that's going to come to pass, man. So Genesis here. Genesis 49. I'm going to start at 7. Cursed be their anger, Genesis 49:7, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob, and scatter them in Israel. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as a old lion, who shall rouse him up? And there you go. Who shall rouse him up? And this is what caught my eye. This one meaning. To arise hostile sense, to arise hostile sense. Hostile sense, to arise, come to the scene, to maintain oneself, to be established, to be confirmed, to stand, endure, to be fixed, to be valid, to be proven, to be fulfilled, to persist, to be set, be fixed, to fulfill, to confirm, set, rectify, establish, impose. Impose. Okay. To cause to arise, raise. That's thunder. It's about to start raining. Outside. I got to get away from the damn house, man. Yeah, we're in season time. You know, yeah, weather's having mercy on us. Makes it a lot easier during the good weather. get out and read. And that's the good thing about it. Get out and read, make videos, and enjoy the air, man. Get around some green and let that, chlorophyll, breathe in the chlorophyll, the oxygen, man. I wonder, did you guys hear that thunder? So that's Jake, man. And part of that Jake and part of these last days is, again, during this period of what is anarchy, just during this period of anarchy, let me get the precept, if I can find it. Rousing them up, man. Just rousing them up. And it's about to go down. It's about to go down, sons of Jacob. I don't even think it says Greece. But it might be Greece. And it's escaping me, the precept. Oh my goodness. Oh. Let me do this. Mm. Mm. It's escaping me. I'm trying to. No. There it is, Zechariah 9 and 13. I don't know why I was thinking that that's Isaiah. So there you go. Deliverance of Judah and Ephraim. As for thee also, by the blood of thy covenant, I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit wherein is no water. Turn ye to my stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Okay? And we're prisoners of hope, man. Which is a good thing. Being held in this through the Spirit and in the Lord's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It's a good thing, man. So it says, even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee when I have bent when I have bent Judah for me, fill the bow with Ephraim and raise up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and make thee as a sword of the mighty man. And the Lord shall be seen over them, and his arrow shall go forth as the lightning, and the Lord power, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, shall blow the trumpet and shall go with the whirlwinds of the south. The Lord of hosts shall defend them. There you go. Vengeance is his. The Lord of hosts, his army, his army shall defend them, and they shall devour and subdue with sling stones, and they shall drink and make a noise as do wine, and they shall be filled like bowls, and as the corners of the altar. And the Lord their power shall save them in that day as the flock of his people, for they shall be as the stones of a crown, lifted up as an ensign upon his land. For how great is his goodness, and how great is his beauty. Corn shall make the young man cheerful, and new wine the maize. So there you go. The whole point was in night 13. Okay, when I have bent the Judah for me, fill the bow with Ephraim and raise up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece. There you go. But ultimately, when all the smoke settles, when Yahushua, when he takes the kingdom, take his inheritance, everything in existence, when he takes back his inheritance, when we as well, again, I mentioned joint heirs earlier, when we're put back in our place and received our reward and our gift, we're going to go around and police the world. But gather, we're going to go against, we're coming for the elect. I said the elect, Slakia. Flip of the tongue, slip of the tongue. But we're coming after the elites of this world. The bankers, man, the super, super, super rich, the trillionaires. The problem, the root of the problem, the head of the snake. You ever heard that saying that to fix the problem, you got to cut off the head of the snake? Hey, we're literally going to the snake, man, the head of the snake. The head meaning the top. The head, man. That's where the elect are going. The elect men are going to the head of the snake, man. To the root of the problem. So there you go. There you go. So it's going down. It's going down. The fools that done fell out, man. The fools that done went back into the world. The fools that went right back to the vomit. That's the same thing, man. You go back in this world, it's the same thing. How you look at some vomit, man. You ain't gonna put that shit back in like a dog would eat. A dog would literally eat vomit, man. And that's the spiritual level of those that fell out, man. They went back to the vomit. This is what they denying. This is what they don't want. That's crazy. It's mind-boggling. Anyway, I hope you're edified. Let's give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Till next time, Lord willing. Shalom.